Right now at 5, the Oklahoma Municipal League throws its support behind the city of Miami and the ongoing battle with the GRDA.
And we start the morning off a little rainy with some clouds moving in later this afternoon.
Plus, the future of agriculture education in Neosho takes shape as a new 30,000 square foot center officially opens.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
It's the second day of May. We've had a kind of a crazy week this past week with just rain, but we're clearing up for the weekend.
We've had a lot of rain.
Yes.
I think this is the wettest April, or was the wettest April on record. It's May now. Got to catch up.
I know, right?
Yes, and we're still not out of the rain chances yet. We've got rain going on this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. You can see our radar showing a few of those rain showers starting to push in. Now, currently, Pittsburgh area, Joplin, just a little partly cloudy, but all of this rain is going to continue to push up along I-44 and hitting the Joplin area, maybe just staying south of Pittsburgh. But we're going to keep an eye on it, and you can see a couple of these little cells popping up, Columbus all the way out to Greenfield, just north of Carthage, and then you've got some stronger little storms moving into the Miami area, north of Veneta and Grove. Now, not a severe threat, not looking at severe weather, a little bit of lightning in some of these stronger parts of the system. But like I said, right now, at least out in the Joplin area, calm. We don't have a lot going on. We've got a northwesterly breeze, temperatures in the mid to lower 50s and partly cloudy. So at some point, all this rain's going to move in the next 30 minutes to an hour. So right when you're going to start your morning commute. But across the area, still looking good. So if you're going to be out on the road within the next 30 minutes, you're looking good. But you can see by about 5:30, all of this is going to be pushing in. Joplin getting hit with that stronger part of the storm that's currently north of Veneta, moving into the Miami area. Again, the next 30 minutes going to be pushing a little bit further northeast. As that happens, all of this is going to continue to shift further out to the east, south of I-44, Bella Vista out to Monette, Cassville, and Pineville. And then we've got just widespread lighter showers. So the heavier part of the rain is going to be pushing out by about 7, 8 to 9 a.m. But you can still see light showers, Pittsburgh, a little bit right on the edge there, getting a few showers. Now it's all going to clear out. And then by midday to early afternoon, we're left with some elevated storms. Again, not a severe threat. You can see ahead of or behind that cold front. Cold front is Miami to Joplin, but behind that, a few of these thunderstorms going to pop up mid-afternoon to early evening. Those are going to start to clear out, ending the day a little bit clear. But I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
All right, Lindsay, we'll see you soon. Well, the ribbon is cut on the newest facility for the Neosho School District. KOAM's Anthony Saviello tells us more on how teachers and students are feeling to finally reach this moment.
30,000. That's the number of square feet within this new facility.
Just to have the space and the tools to do that. I have a bigger greenhouse now, and so just the space for more kids to be involved and be a part of it.
400. That's the number of students that will walk through its doors each day.
Ag Education FFA is I feel like a perfect combination of things. The classroom learning, the leadership development, and then the community service that we do as kids latch onto that.
1. The number of seniors who serve as the FFA president who get to see a dream become reality.
When going to the fairs and everything, I was just that little girl because I was against so many people that have done it forever because they grew up in that background. And so I would tell myself to keep going because failure is okay, because here I am today speaking in front of everyone. I've had so many experiences and journeys and opportunities, and I'm super thankful, and I would tell you to take that chance because as I reflect now, the time in the Blue Jacket is very short. It may seem like 4 years a long time. It is not.
The work of Emma Butler and her fellow students didn't go unnoticed by their teachers.
The students at Neosho are just great students that are willing to learn and jump in and do the right thing. And so with them and then a great team of teachers and supportive administration and school board, it's just a perfect combination of things to get where we're at today.
No horsing around. It took work.
I attended schools, held posters up on the voting day to vote yes. I went and talked at public events, try to inspire the people to see how important it is to be able to have this and do this. And so I just kind of look back and I'm super thankful for that opportunity. It's not only helped me grow as a person, but to see how much it takes to get the community involved and see what it's like. And so that's really important to me, something I'll use for the rest of my life, all that skill.
Work that's led to a special moment. In Neosho, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Well, Neosho students will begin using the facility in the fall. And the city of Miami gets a major backing in its ongoing battle with the Grand River Dam Authority. Continuous flooding in Miami has become the norm, an issue the city blames on the GRDA. City leaders claim the GRDA prioritizes profit over safety by maintaining elevated lake levels. They say those levels have led to repeating flooding, destroying homes and businesses, stunting economic growth, and endangering lives. The GRDA manages Grand Lake and the Pensacola Dam. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission recently ruled the GRDA was in violation of its operational license. A license it's been running on since 1992, and it's due for renewal at the end of this month. The Oklahoma Municipal League is now backing the city of Miami and wants to hold the GRDA accountable. In a letter to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, the league urges the FERC to impose limitations and requirements regarding the relicensure and operations of the Pensacola Dam. Miami Mayor Bless Parker shared a copy of the letter on Facebook, thanking the league for its support of Miami and its citizens. Miami residents gathered for a joint special meeting to discuss electric utility rates and community fiber upgrades. The presentation broke down how rate changes could impact household bills now and in the future.
Utility costs are going up all over the country. That's an unfortunate but inevitable fact of life. And so the well-managed utility has to balance its needs to get additional revenue with the strain it puts on its customers. So all it's asking its ratepayers to do is pay the city what it is costing the city to provide that service to them.
Well, city officials also outlined current internet services and potential expansions through the community fiber project. And the national deadline to get your real ID is coming soon. Starting May 7th, if you don't have a real ID, you may not be able to access certain government buildings or get on some flights. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, depending on how you plan to travel, you might want to get yours.
I spoke to locals in Missouri who says they have things to do and places to go. That's why they got their real IDs.
Veteran, 20 years in the Navy.
Bill Stansbury is a Call Junction resident. He says his history in the Navy is why having a real ID is important to him.
If I want to go somewhere and I need a military to get in, that's proof.
He's right about that, according to Tris Vincent from the Missouri Department of Revenue.
And the reason that you do need a real ID is if you're going to be flying on a commercial flight, or if you're going to go into a federal courthouse or visit a military base or nuclear power plant, then you're going to need that real ID to gain access.
Joplin resident Michelle Gray is a flight attendant. She says the process of getting an ID is fairly simple, and if you want to fly, you need it.
We have what's called KCM, where you go through TSA, and that is all getting ready to change, and most people that are going through TSA now have to have a real ID.
Vincent says you should start this process right away if you have summer plans, because if you don't have your ID, you may not be going anywhere.
I don't know what those answers are, and I don't know if there are answers, but I certainly, if you spent money on a trip, you certainly don't want to not get on the airplane.
I told Stansbury most people in Missouri currently don't have their real IDs. He says,
I could care less.
And if you don't plan on driving domestically or getting inside government buildings, our expert says you may not even need it. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Although fewer than half of folks in Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas have their real IDs, in some states it's at or near 100%. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The MIAA softball tournament is underway. We'll have the results from Pitt State and Missouri Southern's first day of play. Plus, Israel is making plans to expand their operations in Gaza. We'll have the latest. And Lindsay Gaffney will have a full look at your weekend forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Quarterfinal round of the MIAA softball tournament gets started yesterday at Fort Hays State with both the Gorillas and Lions in action. Now let's start with Missouri Southern as they live to fight another day. The Lions take care of Central Missouri 9-5 in their tournament opener. Katie Gray and Carson Tinkler each hit a home run for Southern. The Lions will now face the regular season conference champion and #1 seed Central Oklahoma in the semifinals today. And Pitt State advances to the semifinals as well. The Gorillas trailed Missouri Western 6-3, but scored 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th for a 10-7 victory. Now their win sets up a battle against Rogers State in the conference semifinals later today. The Gorillas lost both of the regular season matchups against RSU. And here's why this conference tournament is important for both the Gorillas and Lions. Now, these are the most recent regional rankings. The top 8 teams on this list will earn a berth in the NCAA tournament. Now, if the season were to end today, the Gorillas and Lions would make it. Pitt State is currently sitting at the #5 seed, and the Lions are sitting as the 6th seed. Well, Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern baseball are in a similar spot to their softball counterparts. Here's a look at the baseball regional rankings. Southern is down in the 10 spot. The Lions will need to finish strong to sneak into the NCAA tournament. PSU currently holds the 2 seed, which make the Gorillas in the running to host a regional. Now, they still got a few regular season games left. Well, Pitt State baseball began a home series against Arkansas Fort Smith. In the second inning, the Lions have a runner on second, no outs. This hit goes deep to the left, but Jake Skaggs makes the catch on the warning track. He spins around and throws to third for the tag. The runner out for the 7-5 double play in the third. It's still 0-0, 2 runners on Ricky Sanchez lines one to opposite field. 2 runners score on the double. Now it's 2-0 later in the inning. Dyer drops one in the gap. Another second run scores. He's into second with a double. Next batter, Caden Williams singles to right, and that hit brings in 2 runners. Score now is 6-0 PSU. Then in the 5th, it's 8-3, but Williams lasers one in the left field gap as he continues the Gorilla hit parade. Pitt State has won 4 in a row. Gorillas take down the Lions 14-4 after just 8 innings. And Missouri Southern baseball wins as well. The Lions take down Northeastern State 4-3 in extra innings. Zion Darnell comes through with the game winning with an RBI single in the top of the 10th. And Leaf Huntline slams the door in the bottom of the inning. Southern has won 3 in a row. Out of Major League Baseball, Royals are down in Tampa trying to complete a series sweep of the Rays. Now, the top of the 5th, they're tied at 1 until this 2-run homer from Bobby Witt Jr. He has a 22-game hit streak, the longest in the major leagues. Later in the 5th, Salvador Perez crushes one to straightaway center. Now that bounces off the wall. A run will score, and he slides in safety with an RBI double. Still in the 5th, it's 4-1 Royals. Bases loaded with Bobby Witt Jr. Gets hit by a pitch to force a run. And one batter later, Vinny Pasquanto knocks it into left center. 2 more runs to score. Now, the Royals beat the Rays 8-2. They've now won 9 of their last 10 games. Well, still to come, we'll have a few tips to help you with your mental health the next time you're feeling stressed. Plus, Lindsay has a check of the 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Well, we've got some rain showers pushing in through the morning hours. You can see down in Tulsa, just moving out of Oklahoma City. Now, south of us, they're under a severe thunderstorm watch. we're looking good. We're not expecting any severe weather, but we already do see some of these showers and thunderstorms moving into the area, and they are going to be loud. You can see Miami getting a lot of lightning strikes over there, moving into Hart and Neosho and into the Joplin area south of Columbus. So we are going to see some thunderstorms. They're just not severe thunderstorms. So as of right now, nothing's quite moved into the main cities yet. No Joplin, not Pittsburgh. You can see we've got some partly cloudy skies out there right now, but in the next hour or so is when we're going to start to see some of these showers filling in, which is just in time for your morning commute. So that's something to think about when you're making your way out the door. You might want to bring a jacket and umbrella because it is going to be rainy. Don't let this partly cloudy skies fool you right now. It's going to start to move in within the next hour. So right now, temperatures in the mid-50s, and we're going to stay in the mid-50s through the morning hours because these cooler temperatures, they're staying cooler because of our rain. So we've got these rain showers in the morning until about mid-morning. By the afternoon, we still could see a couple of isolated thunderstorms, but for the most of us, it's going to be partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. But again, mid-afternoon, which we'll look at in a moment, is going to be giving us a few isolated pop-up thunderstorms following our cold front. Now, temperatures are only getting up to the upper 60s. Now, if these clouds stay covered, we're going to be in the mid to upper 60s. If the sun comes back out, we may be a couple of degrees warmer, getting up to maybe about 70 degrees. So it could be ending up being a nice day today. Now, we've seen quite a bit of rainfall already just this week in total this season. And as all of these rain showers pass, we're going to see another 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, even a 1/2 inch in some areas. Joplin, about 1/4. Pittsburgh may not even see much rain, just a couple sprinkles, because you can see they're right on the edge of where these showers are going to be pushing. Now, south of I-44, up to 1/2 inch of rainfall by mid-morning. This all clearing about 10 a.m., and then isolated showers and thunderstorms towards the afternoon. But by this evening, we're going back to partly cloudy skies, clouds clearing, and then temperatures are going to be a bit cooler. So it's going to be a good evening. It is Friday night, so if you're able to get outside tonight, it's going to be not too bad for that. And then this weekend, even nicer. Now, we are staying pretty cold. Well, cooler. Temperatures are in the upper 60s, which is about 5 degrees cooler than where they should be this time of year. Normally, we're seeing temperatures in the mid-70s, but Saturday, 67, Sunday, 69 to 70, and you can see mostly sunny, and it is a dry weekend. We have no chance of rain because we've had this high pressure system over us for the weekend and into Monday. Now, I wanted to run through, since it is Friday, I wanted to run through our next chance of rain next week, which is going to be on Tuesday. You can see how our low pressure system starts to push in. We get a few showers and a few thunderstorms. So those are going to continue through most of the week next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even into Friday and Saturday. So we've got another nice long stretch of rainy skies next week, but we can enjoy this beautiful sunny weekend. This weekend, a little bit cooler, but we're warming back up to the 70s next week. Now that's a look at your forecast. We'll be right back.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is asking the CDC to look for new treatments for measles. The Health and Human Services Secretary wants the CDC to look at medications and alternative therapies such as vitamins. Now, in a statement, HHS noted the CDC recommends the measles vaccine as the most effective way to prevent the disease, but it added that some people may choose not to get the shot and wants a way to support those people as well. There is also no specific treatment for measles when someone is infected. Well, the World Health Organization is reportedly planning to endorse a category of weight loss drugs to help combat obesity globally. The WHO also wants strategies to make those medications accessible to low and middle income countries. The Global Health Agency says more than 1 billion people are living with obesity. The cost of obesity medications can be as high as $1,000 US a month. Well, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and in the U.S., an estimated 1 in 5 adults live with a mental illness. Mandy Gaither has simple steps you can take every day to improve mental health and prioritize well-being.
When your body doesn't feel well, you go to the doctor. But what about when your mental health feels off?
Mental illness is at an all-time high.
Dr. Jen Bruhl with the American Academy of Family Physicians says in the healthcare industry, mental illness isn't stigmatized and you can seek care from someone like a family doctor. It's treated as a health concern, just like if you have a physical ailment.
When people have mental illness, it impacts every facet of their life, from what they're doing in their day-to-day to how they plan their future.
That's why Bruhl says taking simple steps every day can help you cope with stress and be more resilient. Start by taking care of yourself, get good quality sleep, eat a healthy diet rich in fruits and veggies, lean proteins, and whole grains, and avoid processed foods. She says maintaining social connections is key, and so is regular exercise, as well as getting outdoors.
Exposure to sunlight helps your body make vitamin D, which does help you feel better.
Mental illness symptoms greatly vary depending on the condition, but can include excessive feelings of sadness, excessive worry or fear, avoidance of friends and social activities, or changes in appetite, sleep, and energy levels. Bruhl says these are signals to see a doctor.
And making sure that they have conversations early and seek treatment before symptoms become severe.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental illness, you're not alone, and there's support out there. Just dial 988. That's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Well, we still have a few of these showers and thunderstorms going on. You can see them starting to move into the Joplin area. A little bit of lightning there, might be some loud storms, but non-severe. That will be continuing to push in over the next couple of hours. I'll have more coming up.
Right now at 5:30, it's a match made in med school as two Joplin students look to stitch together a perfect happy ending.
And we start the morning off a little bit rainy, but we're going to end with just some partly cloudy skies.
Plus, the city of Joplin recognizes historic preservation during an awards ceremony.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
And it's Friday here, May 2nd. I can't believe we're already in the month of May.
That it has just flown by. I mean, that's 5th month of the year. I mean,
it's
looking forward to, just honestly looking forward to not having severe weather season anymore.
Which will be nice.
That will be very nice because we just have been hit very hard with a ton of rainfall this season. Flooding risks almost every time we get rounds of rain. And we have had a lot of rain this week, but this is our last bit, at least for a couple of days. So we've got another round this morning. Not going to be a ton of rainfall, but it might wake you up in the morning if you're not an early bird. We've got some thunderstorms pushing in. Now, south of us, that's where they're seeing the severe threat. They've had a few severe thunderstorm warnings, severe thunderstorm watch, and even a tornado or two. I've seen a couple warnings pop up, but we are looking good. We're not expecting any type of severe weather. You can see some of these leading storms may be a little bit louder, some lightning, some thunder. That's already pushing into the Joplin Metro right now. You can see how it's starting to kind of creep in into Neosho as well. So these are going to continue to push up to the northeast along I-44 and south. You can see out near Bartlesville some heavier rain pushing in. That's going to be moving all the way up to the Pittsburgh area, just south of Pittsburgh, over the next couple of hours. But currently, you can see a little bit of lightning out there. This is the Joplin camera 30-second range line. So a little bit of lightning pushing in, but no rainfall yet. It's just right on the edge of the Joplin area. You can start to see some lightning and clouds pushing in. That's going to continue over the next 15-20 minutes before Joplin starts to see some rainfall. You can see even downtown Joplin not seeing any rain yet, but like I said, very soon. So all of this is going to continue to push in. So again, we're looking at the next 15-20 minutes before Joplin's getting the leading part of that storm. Not a severe threat, but it is going to be loud, a lot of lightning. All of that's going to continue to push off at 7 a.m. Heavy rainfall, all that's clearing out by about 9 to 10. And then we're left with a couple of these isolated storms through the early to mid-afternoon. Not a severe threat again, but it could just be a little disruptive to the end of your day today, especially if you get out at work a little bit early on Fridays. And then we're left with a couple of isolated showers, isolated thunderstorms until early evening, finally starting to clear out, and a clear weekend ahead. I'll have those details coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, a two-vehicle crash at highway speeds in Jasper County sends 3 to the hospital. It happened around 4:30 p.m. yesterday at Central City Road and West 7th Street. A red pickup truck traveling west on West 7th Street T-boned a northbound minivan taking Central City Road. Missouri State Highway Patrol say the crash occurred as the minivan pulled into the path of the pickup. The driver of the minivan, a 35-year-old woman from Webb City, was rushed Priority 1 to a Joplin hospital with serious injuries. 2 individuals were in the pickup. Both the driver and passenger were also taken to a Joplin hospital with reported moderate injuries. Well, students at Northeast Tech's Afton campus got a powerful lesson on the dangers of distracted and impaired driving. 2 mock crash drills played out like a real emergency, complete with first responders, air evac, and Oklahoma Highway Patrol on scene. The simulation gave students a first-hand look at just how quickly a bad decision can turn tragic. After the crash, students visited safety booths and heard from officers and emergency workers about the reality they see every day.
I hope they take away that it's not just possibly the actions of themselves, but as a driver, as a new driver especially, you have to look out for all the other cars on the road as well.
Now, the event was meant to drive home a simple message: stay alert, stay sober, and stay alive behind the wheel. A local effort to recognize Joplin's rich history takes center stage during the 2025 Historic Preservation Awards. The Frisco Station Lofts hosted yesterday's ceremony, where community members gathered to celebrate people working to preserve the city's past. The city's Historic Preservation Commission honored individuals and groups who made a lasting impact through restoration, community outreach, and historic revitalization.
That's where you get to see a building being preserved that has maybe been a little run down. That's the building or the house that you maybe walked by when you were a kid and that you have memories of with your family. So that's really the history that's most personal to us in our everyday lives, and that's why we like to celebrate that.
3 different awards were presented, each highlighting a unique area of preservation work. The Leslie Simpson Award, the Jeff and Carolina Neal Award, and the Murfreesburg Award. Well, Match Day is a big day for medical students where they find out where they will start their residency program. Now, 2 engaged medical students were lucky enough to match into just 50 minutes away from each other. KOAN's Melissa Alexis has more on the couple's story.
It all started when Michaela Lebo came to KCU Joplin from San Diego to pursue her dream of being a doctor. She ended up finding even more. KCU Joplin is where she found love.
During my first year of medical school and Dominic's second year of medical school, so we were in 2 different classes. We met at a local bar here in Joplin, Missouri, and didn't know each other prior to that night.
That's where their love story begins. And for the coming years, they would spend every step of their medical school journey together, even helping each other with studying.
Our first and second year, we saw a lot of each other on campus, studied together.
Years before match day, Dominic took an educational opportunity that would also increase their chances of couples matching in the future.
I took a year off at an anatomy fellowship where I got a chance to lead by example and teach and really develop research based around cadaver. And so I had to take that year not only just to make myself more competitive for orthopedics, but for us to line up better.
All of the couple's hard work and dedication paid off because the 2 of them will begin their residency in July, just about 50 minutes away from each other. She'll be in Detroit, Michigan, and he'll be in Grand Blanc, Michigan.
It's really hard to do, and we just got so lucky. I mean, that there's the old saying of opportunity and hard work is where luck meets.
But before that, their next step is their wedding in just a few days.
Over the moon. It's hard not to be excited for a future in orthopedics and excited for my fiance here, soon to be wife, 16 days away.
Reporting in Joplin, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, Michaela matched into the ear, nose, and throat specialty, and Dominic matched into orthopedic surgery. And now to look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Well, travelers in Alabama experienced a little taste of down under as a kangaroo was spotted running down one highway. Plus, thousands of people unite at various locations to voice their thoughts on May Day. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to meet with senior defense officials as Israel prepares to expand its war in Gaza. Senior Israeli officials have been warning for weeks that the IDF will expand its operations in the Gaza territory if there is no ceasefire agreement. Now, Israel says its bombardment of Gaza, coupled with a 2-month total blockade, is an attempt to put pressure on Hamas to make concessions in ceasefire negotiations. Well, the wife of the Maryland man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador has requested a motion for a protective order in 2020, alleging he abused her. According to the petition, Abrego Garcia's wife says he broke her phone and slapped her during an argument in their home. Now, she filed another petition to rescind it about a week later. Abrego Garcia was not charged with a crime connected with incidents described in either protective order request. Well, numerous demonstrations were held around the world yesterday, and for many, it's a day to protest the Trump administration's policies. Sherelle Hubbard has more on the call to action.
Global citizens reveled in May Day, traditionally a day of protest and civil action for labor rights, also known as International Workers' Day. Demonstrators advocate for fair wages and working conditions.
We're here talking about everything that's going on with these corporations. We got to let them know that without us, there will be no use.
In the United States, May Day got a boost from the 50-51 movement, short for 50 protests, 50 states, one movement. Protesters demonstrated against the Trump administration's actions over its first 100 days. Protesters from the May Day Strong Coalition say they are, quote, demanding a world where every family has housing, health care, fair wages, union protection, and safety, regardless of race, zip code, or immigration status. Among the speakers, the family of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland man wrongly deported to El Salvador.
My husband was illegally detained, abducted, and disappeared, thrown away to die in one of the most dangerous prisons in El Salvador.
Followers of the movement are optimistic that this national and international day of solidarity will bring change.
To show that we have a voice and we're not going to be quiet. We're not going to shut up. We're going to be loud.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Well, many of the marches across the U.S. were organized by the 50-51 movement. The group says its key concerns are upholding the Constitution and ending what they describe as executive overreach. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Well, we do have more rain and thunderstorms moving in this morning. You can see a few of those thunderstorms finally making it into the Joplin area. You can see just kind of pushing up and along I-44. The rest of the storms are going to stay south of I-44. Might not see a ton of this pushing further north, but we do have a couple more hours of rainfall, so it might continue to push all the way up to at least Pittsburgh. Now you can see a couple of lightning strikes in here moving out of Miami. They got hit just about 30 minutes ago, but Joplin area, you can see a couple lightning strikes. We saw it on the camera as well. And then up in Carthage now, starting to see some of those rain showers and thunderstorms. Now taking a look inside downtown Pittsburgh, partly cloudy skies, so Pittsburgh right now is staying clear. There is a chance that we're going to see a couple of showers making it all the way up to Pittsburgh. And then taking a look at Joplin, you can see 32nd and Range Line, finally seeing some of those rain showers, a little bit of lightning as well, but not a severe threat. Could still be a bit of a disruption to your morning commute, especially just traffic and just gross to get out in. So don't forget your umbrellas this morning, although it'll start to clear out by mid-morning to early afternoon. Temperatures are going to stay in the mid-50s while the rain continues because it's going to keep us a bit cooler. So in the next hour, really only warming up another degree, maybe 2. It's going to be rainy this morning. Later on this afternoon, mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies for most of us, but we still have a couple of these isolated pop-up showers and thunderstorms following that cold front that's going to be moving through. Now it keeps us cool as well. Now if the clouds clear a little bit earlier in the day, once all the rain clears out by noon, We might get a degree or two warmer, possibly up to 70 degrees, but mostly going to stay in the upper 60s. Now, rainfall amounts, the continual rainfall amounts, got another 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch out in the Joplin area, same 1/10 of an inch in Columbus. South of I-44 on the Missouri side and Arkansas side could see 1/4 to 1/2 an inch of rainfall. Not a ton more, but we have just ended a few of our flood warnings, so we were still completely saturated out there, and we've got more rain still continuing through the morning hours. Now, by this evening, like I said, we've got a couple of these isolated pop-up showers and thunderstorms that I talked about earlier that are going to continue to mid-afternoon, but later on this evening, Friday night, clearing out. We still have some clouds out there. Temperatures are going to be cooler as well following this cold front, but overall not a bad night and a great looking weekend. Again, cooler, about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than average. Mid-60s on Saturday, about 66, 67 degrees. Sunday, 69 to 70 degrees, so a little bit, tad bit warmer on Sunday, but at least an entire weekend where we're not going to see rain chances. Now we've got this high pressure system that's setting up all the way through Monday. So Monday we stay dry as well, but by Tuesday, here you can go 7 p.m. We've got these showers pushing in, showers and thunderstorms that kind of linger Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, even into Saturday as well. So we're going to have this continually pushing in because of a bit of a messy upper level flow. All that's continuing. This is now Thursday, still some scattered showers, isolated showers Thursday and into Friday as well. But again, could potentially linger all the way until Saturday. Now we've got a cooler weekend, although it's sunny and dry, cooler weekend, and then we're back to average temperatures all week next week along with more rain chances. Now let's look at your forecast. We'll be right back.
Well, a unique technique of rearing critically endangered animals while minimizing human contact involves creative thinking, deft artistry, and a little TLC. Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
Watch zookeepers go to great and creative lengths to prevent a wild animal from getting used to their domesticated surroundings. The bird on the right is a rare baby king vulture, the first born at the Bronx Zoo since the 1990s. The bird on the left is no bird at all. It's an ornate hand puppet, handcrafted by the zoo's art department and worn by zookeepers to feed the hatchling in order to prevent it from imprinting on humans. It's a unique technique that's been used for decades by zoos when dealing with critically endangered species such as vultures and condors to ensure a healthy rearing of the fragile birds while keeping them as wild and undomesticated as possible. Another not necessarily rare but certainly majestic bird graduated from domesticated care after being rehabilitated at Washington's Progressive Animal Welfare Society. The nonprofit says this bald eagle was brought to them in February, wounded and anemic, and was since nursed back to health by their wildlife team and successfully released. It didn't waste time spreading its wings and even appeared to find a new friend, or possibly lunch. Finally, take a look at an animal from down under, taking a stroll on a highway down south. This kangaroo got loose on I-85 South in Alabama, forcing a temporary shutdown of the roadway after reportedly causing a crash. Thankfully, no injuries were reported, according to law enforcement, and they say the highway hopper was eventually captured and the lanes reopened. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Stick around, we'll be right back. Well, a semi took a Swiss roll in Jasper County. A tractor trailer loaded with snack cakes crashed near the Carthage Underground and on Jack Pine Road. Now, Liberty Utilities responded to the crash as it took out a power pole. Authorities say the driver, who was uninjured, dropped his right tires off the road and couldn't recover, causing a rollover. The vehicle was loaded with 24,000 pounds of snack cakes. Now, the cargo did not spill out. Well, students at St. Peter Middle School and McCauley Catholic High School experienced a closer look at the process for choosing a new pope. The kids spend the week exploring the conclave process, learning more about the top papal contenders and evaluating things like age, country of origin, years as a cardinal, and roles of committees they serve on within the church. Now, in case you're wondering, the students chose Germany's Cardinal Reinhard Marx to become the next pope. We'll see.
Well, we've got some morning thunderstorms continuing to push in over the next hour or two. A little bit of a disruption to the morning commute, however, not severe. That'll all clear out by mid-morning. Then we're going to have these isolated pop-up storms following that cold front towards this afternoon. Again, non-severe storms clearing out by mid-afternoon to early evening. And then we've got a nice looking night. Temperatures dropping down again to the mid to lower 50s. And we start off pretty cool through this weekend. 5-10 degrees below average, but it's going to be sunny. At least we're not seeing any rain chances. That continues through Monday, and then Tuesday is our next chance of rain. Now that's a look at your forecast.